So I truly believe that building a beautiful partnership happens in the little moments, the little mundane things that we often have impatience around or we just rush through, things like catching our horses. So whenever I come to the pasture or the stall, wherever I'm taking my horse from, I consider the fact that they were fine until I showed up. So I want to make sure that when I first get here, I want to have just a connection point, whether that's rubbing them for a second, having a moment of undemanding time where I may be finding their itchy spot, or just checking in with them and see what's going on with me, what's going on with them, what's going on around us. And then once I've had a chance to make contact with my horse without the tools, I'm going to bring my halter into play, and you'll see I have my halter tied up in this tidy way. This is how my halters are stored in the barn, but I also love the function that it gives me for the haltering process. So I've got a slip knot here, and once I'm ready to halter my horse, I'm going to pass that knot underneath my horse's neck and undo it with my right arm. That way I now have a line of communication to set the stage for him and say, hey, from the get-go, we're going to be doing things with partnership. So I'm not just going to put the halter on you, we're going to do it together. And I want to do it in a way that's as if my session has already started, right? That I want my session to be about building softness and connection and shared intent. So I just use my noseband of the halter there to ask him to soften his nose around here so that I'm bringing his thoughts towards my idea of haltering. And just taking a moment to implement these little things when you're haltering and unhaltering is going to make such a big difference, even though it seems like such a little thing. So even when I'm unhaltering, it's the same expectation. I'm going to stand back at the shoulder because that makes it so that I have to have my horse participating. If I'm just up here, or a lot of people do this, I'm throwing it up and over, I'm making it just a little clunky. So again, I'm going to pass it here, stand back at the shoulder, see if I can cause my horse to already bring partnership into play, even in this little task of haltering. And then same thing with unhaltering. I'm going to soften his nose this way, and I won't drop the halter off of his face until he's softened towards me, because when I take the halter off, that's the last thought that I'm releasing him on, and I don't want to release him on a thought of I'm getting away from the human. I want to release him on this thought of, hey, I can soften and connect with my human. Then the halter drops off, and that's how I want to end the session. That's the thought that I want to leave him with. If you want to know how to keep your halters tidy and functional for haltering, here is how you tie the barn knot. So I'm going to hold the knot in my left hand and the tail in the right. I put the tail over, and I like to hold it down with my left thumb. Then I'm going to grab the tail, go over and behind with a half hitch. Now this is a really important part here. I want to tighten it by pulling on the pole piece. So I'm going to pull on the pole piece of the halter to tighten. And then I fold my lead rope in half. I can open up these two pieces that create the pole piece, and it makes a basket that I can then drop my lead rope in. And now I have it nice and tidy to hang up in the barn, but it's also super functional and ready for me to go halter my horse. And I have that slip knot so that I can have a tool to communicate and help them act like a partner through that haltering process.